try and do it a little bit different. Create that connection, because then you're opening up the space for reciprocity. You're opening up the space where they're willing to listen to you, they're willing to help you. I can't remember half the things people have said to me, but when I do, if I'm going to recommend someone, guess where I go? What tool I use? I use LinkedIn. So I prefer to link in with you, because then if I'm looking for someone that's doing SEO, I can't remember their face, their name or whatever, I will search on LinkedIn. Now, it may not be within your culture, the card, but really understand a lot of people want to work internationally and they want to work with people in the UK. That's why they're coming up and talking to me. So understand your audience, how they work and what they use to search for you. And you've got to understand the way that you need to respond to that. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah? Brilliant. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to be talking you through the 3 pillars of human edge in an AI world: skill set, mindset, and enablement. Okay, so next slide. So AI gives us ability to do more, better, right? So more emails, more automation, more connection requests, even if it's people that's not relevant to you, just more. And the problem is that, more is not, click next slide, more is not always better. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Because I tell you what's happening in the real world. In the real world, your customers are switching off to all of that noise of more and faster, because they don't feel connected with you when you constantly, send them more information. And you're not really listening to them. There isn't really that connection. And as I've said, without connection, what you're doing is, if you're not scaling the relationship, you're just scaling more noise. Next slide. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to make sure I think it's skipped a slide, but anyway, you need to make sure that you have the right people in the right place, talking to your customers and talking in your customers' language. Okay, right. So what I have is a scale diagnostic process. Because the problem is that in terms of the skill set of our team of people that talk to our customers, we're often not listening to them, and we're just doing more, thinking more is better. So in the AI world, you need to make sure you have the right people in the right seats, speaking the customer's language and listening to the customers. And scale means that you have the right people in the right seats, because scale is a diagnostic process, in that it has identified through sales assessments collected over the last 30 years what are the 22 core competencies to make sales success guaranteed. So whatever industry you're in, it can benchmark what are the best sales-specific competencies that's necessary for you to consistently perform. So you're able to use this assessment tool to identify who's going to be on the job successful before you recruit them. And in terms of your sales operation, you're able to understand which the levers you need to pull to be the most sales-specific operation in your market, because you're benchmarking the best in the industry. So it gives you that global view of what is the best and what will be the best competencies, the best levers in order for you to reach your customer, and you're able to build relationship and scale your revenue, scale growth. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk about the other one, mindset. We've talked about skill set. So in terms of mindset, in an AI world, we need a different type of leader. And the leader in this age is one that can lead yourself through core competencies. So it's really really understanding yourself first. And I'm going to give you lots of examples of this. So I call it North Star leadership. And the key to North Star leadership is having curiosity over fear, because there's something within you that's really grounding, and it's about tapping into what that is. Because we're in a world where it's really chaotic. We've talked about so much is coming at you. We feel we don't have time to really think about what tools that we need, what systems are in place, because it's often go, go, go. So it's about creating curiosity over fear, and your job as a North Star leader is really to create belief within your team. It's to create belief within the operation. When you're going out for funding, it's all about belief, isn't it? Yeah? So as a leader, your key job is to hold that belief so you can get funding, so you attract the right people. And how do you do that? Well, think of, the eye of a storm and everything's chaotic around you. What's happening in the middle? It's calm, isn't it? So North Star leadership, what that gives you is the ability to have that grounding and that calmness, even when you've got all of those challenges happening around you. Next slide. And the competencies of a North Star leader is that they're really good at doing these things in an AI world, and it's about reframing disruption. So with disruption, they're able to look at technology and look at it not as a threat, but more as a puzzle to be solved. And that feels good, doesn't it? I can solve that problem and it doesn't feel overwhelming. And then choosing curiosity over fear. This is really the growth mindset, where you are curious, but you don't let it dominate and take over control. So it's about having that space between you. Remember the eye of the storm. The third one is to build discomfort over tolerance. And this is in exercising the muscle to be comfortable with discomfort and still go forward. And then the fourth one is about lifelong learning. And this is where you set yourself a challenge every day, every year, because in the age of AI, learning is no longer a side project. Learning is your job every single day. Next slide, please. So if you can click on this video first. So last year I challenged myself to take up roller skating. I don't know if it's going. Take up roller skating, and so you'll see me 6 months later roller skating. And I fell down a lot, I can tell you, and I'm over 60, so it hurt. But I still got up, and because I had an image in my head that I'd be gliding. It didn't look like that. I looked like a 5-year-old skating, but nevertheless, I did it. And then my challenge to myself this year is to do hula hooping. So yeah, that will be me. As a leader, there we go, in skating. As a leader, you've got to be willing to look a bit of a fool. That's okay, because what you need to do is feel comfortable with discomfort. And you need to create the psychological safety for everyone else to experiment. And you can only do that if you have self-belief. And how do we build self-belief? We build self-belief as we did when we were children. What we did is we learned. We took up a new skill, because they're learning all the time. And they practiced, and they fell, and they got up again, and they mastered the skill. So you've got to be willing to challenge yourself, to put yourself in an uncomfortable position. And in that way, you're always able to push through that noise and that discomfort because you've exercised the muscle. Next slide, please. Thanks. Ooh, skipped. Ooh. Right, enablement. So we talked about skill set. We talked about, I have no idea of time, talked about mindset. And now enablement. Now, this is where you harness AI to make you better. Now, the title of this is about the human edge in an AI world. And so it's not about being more AI, it's about being more human in an AI world. And the way that you do that is understand that it's a tool and I call it your critical thinking partner. It's a tool for you to use, and I'm going to give you lots of examples of how it can make you better as a human. Because AI is trying to be human, if you notice that when it speaks to you, and your job is not to be AI. You'll never do it. Your job is to be more human, but use it as your critical thinking partner. So an example of this is LinkedIn. And this is something all of you, I urge you all to do. LinkedIn changed their algorithm to the 360 brew this summer. And so now it is an enablement tool that will find your customers, right? It enables you to find your customers, but you have to do some things first. So previously, AI didn't apply the LinkedIn didn't apply the AI, and it assumed your customers were your followers. Now, if anyone has started using AI, it's often your schoolmates, your colleagues from previous jobs. It's if you're a founder, you go on networking events, you connect with other founders. Probably none of those are your audience. So now what it's doing, it's looking at your expertise and it's matching up your content and it's finding your customers. It's saying, who is interested in this? And it's sending those customers to view your profile. This is amazing. It's an incredible opportunity. But what you need to do is, if you haven't got clarity, then you're confusing the algorithm. So if you're not consistent in what you're saying, or it's not relevant, it's not customer-centric to your customers, your audience, then you won't be seen. So what you need to do, first of all, is look at your profile. Does it say your expertise? Does it say what you do and what results you bring to your particular audience? If it doesn't say those things, it can't send you customers. So you need to go through your profile, make sure it's crystal clear, help AI to find your customers. So it's your profile, it's your expertise, make sure your content's consistent, and make sure your content speaks to your customers. If you do that, you will get more LinkedIn leads coming to you because it's now built to be the AI tool that finds you customers. So previously, as I said, it used to just make best guesses on your audience based on who was already connected with you. But now that's all changed. And that's what, next slide, that's what AI is doing. It's enabling you to do more of what you want to do, to show more of your expertise. Let me give you another example. I'm doing a course on Instagram, and I'm writing up all of my notes in Instagram. And do you know sometimes when you press the enter before you're ready and it's gone off? And I realised it was completing all my notes I hadn't given it. And I thought, well, how are you able to do that? I asked it a question and it said to me, great challenge, Janice, trying to be human. So it said it used the patterns, the information I'd given it before in my previous notes, and what it knows of me as an expert and what it knows of my audience, and that enabled it through the patterns to complete my work and even do my tasks as well for me. So AI enables you to do your jobs better, but it all depends on what you asked it. Let me give you another example. I'm here, I've been here since the 24th of December, and I'm doing some dental work. So I asked AI about finding me a consultant dentist. And I didn't just ask it to compile a list. I asked it, given my criteria, how are you able to choose the top 3? What criteria are you using to choose the top 3? I asked it, when I go for a meeting, a consultation, what should I be asking in my consultation? Then I asked it, how can I evaluate who is the best one based on the answers to me? Then I asked it, what am I missing? AI doesn't make the decision or shouldn't make the decision, but you, as the human, has something that AI can never replicate. And it was mentioned before in the hall yesterday, and that's judgment. That's also experience, but it's something else. It's that sixth sense instinct that humans have that AI doesn't have. So in the AI world, there's something you've got over AI, but you need to use it to make you better, to create better decisions that you make, not AI. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn. As I told you, you're better connecting with me on LinkedIn than giving me business cards. And yeah, it's easy for me to find you and search you later on for opportunities. I've got another example, but I think it's probably my time. If you click again, and then click again. All right, so in this world of the human edge of AI, speed does scale, but it's only if you're on the right path do you reap the benefits of that scaling. And so what I'd like you to do is just take a little step back first. Remember the eye of the storm and center yourself and really ask yourself the questions of what's most important now. And you can use AI, as I often do, as a tool to help you think through some of the answers to those questions and even interrogate if you're asking the right questions to get that real depth as your critical thinking partner. So I really want you to use AI, absolutely, but use it to make you better. Use it to make your decisions better. Because click again. In the future of sales growth isn't artificial intelligence, it's human intelligence amplified with AI. So I hope I've given you some real kind of good practical tools that you can use to harness AI for your benefit, to make your businesses grow, to attract customers to you, and to, amplify your decision making with AI. Thank you very much.